Hello and welcome. My name is Jess and you're listening to Legaltini, your very own sip of law school. The goal of this podcast is to give you just a taste of what it's like going to law school. Whether you're already in school, considering it, have a loved one currently experiencing the fun that is law school, or you just want to follow my journey, I'm so glad you're here. You can also follow me on Instagram at legaltini_podcast and check out my website legaltini.com. And if you enjoy the podcast, don't forget to rate and review below. Grab your Legaltini and let's take a sip. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Legaltini. It's final season, and we know that stress can make it really hard to keep a clear head. That just happens in every kind of stress relationship where there's a stressor. It makes it harder to think straight. But it's important to look at the big picture. So today we're going to talk about, I've got 5 ways to stay grounded and keep that big picture perspective, even when stress about finals is mounting, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling all these feels. I've got some ways to sort of nip that in the bud and keep pushing forward so that you can have a successful finals season. So law school is a demanding period in a student's life. I mean, just period, end of story, right? Like that's just, we talk about law school and we talk about demanding on every piece of you, and it's easy to get caught up in that stress and anxiety. And I mean, this even applies in any hard thing that you're pushing yourself towards or trudging through. I remember feeling this way just working. I mean, just feeling like this is such a demanding season of my life. And then, oh my gosh, COVID hit and it was like even more demanding. And how could it be more demanding? So you may be going through this even not in law school, but just in life and just goals that you're pushing yourself to or life things that you're sort of trudging through. However, it is essential to remember that law school is just one piece of your life, and taking care of your mental health is just as important as studying for finals. I know, easier said than done. That sounds like I'm a crazy person saying that, but it's true, and you know it's true. Mental health is so important, and it is more important than your finals, because after finals are over, you still have to be here. You still have to deal with the day-to-day. You still have to move forward and move past this. And so it is more important, even though I know it feels like, no, I've just got to keep going. I've just got to read a little bit longer. I've just got to master a little bit more content. I get it. I know. But you can do that while maintaining mental health. So I've got 5 ways to sort of stay grounded. And the first one is taking breaks. And I know I've talked about this before. I know everyone sort of talks about this, and it's understandable that you feel like you need to be studying all the time. But the truth is, taking breaks can help you to be more productive. So you can actually get more done if you just go ahead and take that break than if you just push through and try to just keep studying, because our brains need rest to function. I mean, they just need rest. That's how it works. So make sure that you're taking time for yourself each day, whether that's going for a walk, reading a book, taking a bath, watching a movie. I mean, whatever you want to do, right? Just make sure that you're giving your brain an actual intentional break. Just this weekend, I ran into this myself. A school friend and I studied all day on Saturday and focused on property, one subject, all day. And by the end of it, I mean, we were pretty delirious. It's kind of funny, but we had used the Pomodoro method. If you've heard of that, you basically set a timer to make sure that you're staying super focused and on task, but then it sort of forces you to take breaks, even when you don't feel like you need a break yet, but it forces sort of that balance. So anyways, we were using a timer, we were super focused and on task, but then we were taking 5-minute breaks regularly and then a longer break in the middle of the day for lunch, and we took a nice walk. But still, by the end of the day, I mean, I could hardly retain the words that we were reading, and we kept having to repeat ourselves. It was clear our time was up. We need to go. So our brains get tired, especially after 9+ hours of just grinding. And after a long day of studying, we made this amazing dinner. I mean, so delicious. I think it was a Half-Baked Harvest. I don't know if you've ever heard of that like recipe blogger, but it's amazing, and she definitely didn't sponsor this, but I just love her recipes. Anyway, so we made this like amazing dinner. We had to chop all these things up, and it was so good, and it was a little complicated like recipe wise for me. I'm typically a more simple recipe gal, but it was really nice to just like chop things and do something that was kind of mindless and didn't require critical thinking or like racking my brain for information. And then we watched Dirty Dancing, we made cookies, we just put law school away for the night, and it was exactly what I needed. We definitely did the grind during the day and got so much done, but then we took all this time to decompress and just giggled and laughed and watched this movie, and it was so nice. And it's what we needed. We needed just like a reprieve from the day, and not just to crawl in a hole and sort of be quiet and alone. Like, we needed that like social flush of like getting all of the grind out and laughing and being ourselves and having other things that we were doing. So that's all a piece of this. So the second way, coming back to my list here, the second way to keep perspective and staying grounded during stressful times is to try to stay positive. And it's really easy to get bogged down in negative self-talk or anxiety about the future, but focusing on the good things in your life can help you stay motivated and optimistic. So try making a list of all the things you're grateful for each day, and take some time to reflect on those things when you're feeling stressed. I have a really good friend in Texas who is truly devoted to this gratitude journal that she keeps every day. She writes 3 things down every day that she's grateful for. And it's incredible because she looks back at these little journal entries that she has, and it brings her back to that day, and she remembers, not maybe every day, but a lot of days, she remembers what she was going through and what she was feeling and why these were the 3 things that she wrote down that she was grateful for. What a cool thing. And I think it's really helped her a lot. I think that's incredible. And I think it's just kind of a fun way to look back, honestly. Like, that's the benefit of it to me, is having that as something to sort of tether you to this gratefulness as you look back on your life. So she's got like years of journals that she has to look back on, which is so cool. So there's that way of doing it, but I also sometimes try the inverse of that, where if I'm feeling stressed or overwhelmed, I make a list of all the things that are stressing me out, and I challenge each of them. And I say, is it really that stressful in the scheme of things? What is the silver lining of that stressor? What am I learning from it? How am I growing? What's the end result of this hard thing going to be? And I try to sort of spin everything to the positive. And I've talked about this before, and I'll say it again, but anytime that you can take something kind of challenging or stressful in your life and understand what it's actually breathing into your life and the good that it might have, it sort of makes it feel smaller or makes it feel more manageable, because it's not this just big, scary, daunting thing. It's something that you can handle and something that's going to serve you. Now, there are stressors in life that can at times feel like they're only hard. And if you're struggling with how to view something as positive, or if you're struggling with, depression, real life challenges, get help from somebody that you love or someone professional. The seasons of life where it all feels a little too big and dark happen, and they happen to many people, and it's the right next step to just talk to someone you trust about it, which leads me actually into the next way to keep perspective, which is don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether that's a tutor, a friend, a therapist, there are people who want to help you succeed. So don't be afraid to reach out and ask for support. It is okay to not have all of the answers, and it's okay to ask for help when you need it. I recently on Instagram shared a list of, I think it was 5 questions to ask your professor, just to get the ball rolling if you haven't yet talked to each of your professors during their office hours or, scheduled appointment times. But it's an important piece of the puzzle because they are a true wealth of knowledge, obviously about the subject matter that they're teaching, but also just about life and law school, careers, the challenges that you're facing at each of those steps. They've gone through them all. And so professors are a really great wealth of knowledge and a really great way to sort of create mentorships. And I really, really encourage doing that, because if you're struggling, that is a great first step. And they can say, okay, you need to XYZ, and they'll give you sort of some direction. Fourth way to maintain big picture perspective is to engage in activities that promote brain health. So exercise, healthy diet, good sleep habits, all the things that everybody always talks about, they are essential for keeping your brain functioning at its best. Believe it or not, the things all these people are talking about, super important for your brain. And a healthy brain is, wait for it, a no-brainer. Ha ha ha. We love a good pun. So try to incorporate some sort of exercise into your daily routine. Just try to incorporate some of these things into your day, even if it's just something simple. Making sure that you have healthy snacks, going for a walk, doing some yoga. Just make sure that you are incorporating these things into your day so that they don't take tons of time and they don't take, all this energy to do, but just it can be simple, it can be little things. Try to think about your brain health as you go through the day. Eating a balanced diet and getting enough sleep. All of these things that doctors have been saying for years, believe it or not, those are good things for your body. And healthy snacks, just another note about healthy snacks, are so huge for me. While I'm at school all day, I notice such a difference in my productivity and just how much energy I have when I'm eating carbs throughout the day. I don't know, it must be just the way that my body works the best, but if I'm eating carbs throughout the day, any kind of food, I have so much more energy to do school and just life things throughout the day. And I don't know, I think that sometimes when I only have lunch and dinner, by the afternoon, by mid-morning, these sort of halfway points in between, I'm dragging, and I don't need to be. Literally all I need to do is have a handful of nuts or have a Snickers bar or whatever, any kind of carb, and I'm suddenly more energized and more focused. Interesting. Seems like maybe our bodies just need food to have energy. That's a novel concept. And when I'm productive, of course, I feel good and I feel like I can take that break, and then I'm in a better place and I'm in a better mood, and it's a cycle. So when you can find that balance and find the things that work for you, it's really not this horrible, awful law school experience that other lawyers tend to make it seem like it is. I was talking to an attorney a couple weeks ago, and he was doing that whole, isn't law school the absolute worst gig, that sort of bit that you get from every attorney ever that you talk to. And I just smiled and I said, not really, I'm really enjoying it. And I listed off some of my favorite parts of law school and just the honor that I feel that I get to be here, and sort of, I'm just grateful. And I, not everybody gets this opportunity. I'm just sharing these things. And he's like, oh, yeah. And really related to each of them, and he kind of, I think it brought him back to the better parts of law school. And it was I think attorneys just think you want to hear all of these negative, woe is me, law school was such a challenge parts of that season of their life. But just feel free to remind them that you're in a really cool season of life, and it doesn't have to be this terrible, oh my God, isn't everything so awful? Because, I don't know, in my experience, it's not. And maybe other people are experiencing different things. But for me, this has been a really cool season so far. And that's just what it is, a season. So that leads me into the fifth and final way to stay grounded, keep big picture perspective during law school, is to remember that law school is literally just one part of your life, and it's important to have hobbies and interests outside of school that bring you joy and fulfillment, whether that's painting, playing music, spending time with loved ones. These activities can help you stay grounded and remind you that this is just a piece. This is just part of your life. It's a big part, and it's important, and it's dang time consuming, but having interests outside of law school can actually help you be a better law student by giving you a break from the stress and allowing you to come back kind of with a fresh perspective, and just recognizing that yeah, this feels big and this feels hard, but this is not the only thing in the world. Okay, this might be a hot take, but do you guys ever have those friends growing up that when they got a new boyfriend or a new hobby, you basically wouldn't ever see them And if you did, all they wanted to talk about is that boyfriend or hobby or whatever it is. And it's kind of the same thing here, but you have to fight the urge to make law school the only thing you ever think and talk about. So like, you're the friend with the new boyfriend, but the boyfriend is law school. So try to fight that urge. And talk about other things. Hold on to those other friendships and hobbies, because after this is over, you'll still be you, and you'll still want those friendships, and you'll still want to have those hobbies. I mean, speaking from experience, it's been really hard to keep playing my guitar. And it's not like I'm this incredible guitar player, but it's something that I love to do. It's a hobby that I love. It's therapeutic for me. And it's so hard to hold on to that because I'm like, what a waste of time. But it's not, because truly it serves my soul. It feeds my brain. It is beneficial. So think about those things and those people in your life that you might be kind of not forgetting about, but not prioritizing as much, and try to think about just small ways that you can hold on to those things. So in summary, taking care of your mental health is just as important as studying for finals. Don't forget to take breaks and stay positive about the things that are both stressful and great in your life, but ask for help when you need it, even if that can feel daunting. I promise, just take that step to ask anybody around you for help. Promote brain health by doing other kinds of tasks and resting that beautiful, beautiful brain of yours. This is like having hobbies and interests outside of law school. Just remember that you are more than just a law student, and it's essential to take care of your well-being, because at the end of the day, you still got you, and that's the only one you have. So take care of it, take care of yourself, and good luck with finals, because you're going to do awesome. You've put in the work, you've got a plan, trust the plan. That's like my mantra during final season, is always like, trust the plan, because I'm such a planner. So if you're not a planner and you don't have a plan, then maybe don't trust that plan, but come up with a different one. And I've got previous podcasts, and I'm sure I'll do another one about this, but making a plan during the semester for law school finals is, gosh, that is so helpful when you get to the craziness of final season, because then you can just grind and not have to stress about what should I be doing right now. Anyways, that is off topic. So mental health, we're back on topic. That's what's important. Well, it's just as important as studying for your finals. Obviously, put in the effort, put in the work. You're here for a reason. You got this. That's all that I have for this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening and being here with me and going on this journey with me. Wow, what a ride. Thanks so much for listening. This has been Legaltini, your very own sip of law school.